On this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, we saw the unfortunate situation where Liv Morgan got injured in her match against Kairi Sane right at the start of the match. And it appears that this is a dislocated shoulder. We don't know the severity of the injury at this point in time. This could be one that keeps her out for a few weeks if it's quite an easy one to put back in, or it could keep her out for quite a long time if it's something that requires surgery. And while we wish Liv Morgan all the best in her recovery, Liv Morgan is such an integral part of that show. She is in so many storylines at this point in time. Let's take a dive into what is going to happen in the next few weeks. So first up, of course, she is currently the Women's Tag Team Champion alongside Raquel Rodriguez, her Judgment Day stablemate. And now these two unfortunately have a bit of a cursed history with the tag team titles because of course they had to vacate them twice in 2023 because of Liv's shoulder. The first time they vacated them, it was in fact Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey who won the tag team titles for Liv and Raquel to win them back after that fantastic turn by Shayna Baszler on Ronda Rousey in the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in London. And then the next time, I believe it was Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville who actually won the tag team titles after they were vacated by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. But recently we have seen the kayfabe attack of Jade Cargill, which led to her having time off TV, and then Naomi actually stepped into the role to be Bianca Belair's tag team partner. So there are a couple of options that they could go with here. So for me, there are three options. One, I don't think is going to happen, but because there is quite a bit of a cursed history with the tag team titles, there are unfortunately some people who are actually calling for them to be shelved. I don't think that should ever happen. I think there are plenty of talent on the WWE roster, not just on the main roster, but also NXT as well, that they can still have a tag team division there. The next one, of course, is that Roxanne Perez could fill the void of Liv Morgan and take over as Raquel Rodriguez's tag team partner. Now, her and Liv Morgan are roughly the same size when you look at them side by side. So I think Raquel and Roxanne could actually have pretty decent chemistry together. We know that Raquel and Liv Morgan love to do those double team moves where Raquel kind of throws Liv around the place. I definitely think she could be doing the same thing to Roxanne Perez if they decide to go down that route. Now, the other route, which I think would probably be a decent way to go about it if Liv Morgan is away for quite a substantial period of time, and that is to actually vacate the titles and then have some sort of tournament, and then this lead up to this tournament actually ends at Evolution 2 in July. We have heard the likes of Natalya and Maxine saying that they have actually been training together in the hopes that they will be becoming a tag team on the show very soon. You've got people like Sol Ruka and Zarya down in NXT who are a fantastic tag team together. There is plenty that you could actually do with these kind of storylines. So if they do have a tournament, I think that they could pull it off, and then Evolution will be a great way to cap that off. What do you think is going to happen with the tag team titles? Please let us know down in the comments below, and make sure you click that like button while you're there, of course. Now let's move on to the Judgment Day. Of course, Liv Morgan actually came into the Judgment Day in a very similar situation where she had actually attacked Rhea Ripley backstage, and this led to a legitimate injury for Rhea Ripley where I believe it was her AC joint, so the shoulder once again. And then Liv Morgan kind of weaseled her way into Dominic Mysterio's favor and then into the Judgment Day. And of course, that ended up with Rhea Ripley being booted out at SummerSlam with the kiss heard around the world between Dominic and Liv Morgan. So could they do something very similar here in that Roxanne Perez weasels her way into the Judgment Day full time? Because we know she's technically an associate of the Judgment Day at the moment. So can she actually become a full-time member and basically replace Liv Morgan in a similar fashion to the way that Liv did to Rhea? I'm not sure if that's too on the nose because it's almost exactly the same as what happened last year, and you end up with people saying they've just repeated storylines, but they're kind of being forced into something like this. The other option, of course, is that the Judgment Day is kind of heading towards a closure anyway. Do you then kind of go for the Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor feud pretty quickly, so you kind of start to wrap that up, and then perhaps by SummerSlam the Judgment Day is basically entirely finished as a group? They have been a fantastic group for 3 years now, and it is kind of going to be fizzling out if that is to occur, so I don't think they want to do it. I know Triple H seems to absolutely love the Judgment Day stable, so I think they are probably going to try and keep it going, and that's where Roxanne Perez plays a massive part in all of this. Now let's move on to those implications for Evolution, and of course last week we saw that Liv Morgan and Nikki Bella had that really good promo in the ring where Liv Morgan just looks fantastic. and that opportunistic oblivion that she hit on Nikki looks so good as well. And of course, that match was either heading for a tag team match where Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez would put the tag team belts on the line against Nikki Bella and perhaps a returning Brie Bella. There have been rumors that she was in talks with the WWE to try and come back. We know there's a bit of bad blood there, so whether or not that would happen, who knows. But then the backup option, of course, was that Rhea Ripley would kind of tag with Nikki Bella to go against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. So what happens now for Nikki Bella? So she was clearly angling for a match at Evolution 2, and she really does deserve to be in there considering how important she was to Evolution 1. So I'm not entirely sure what they do with Nikki Bella now. Perhaps she gets part of that tag team tournament that I was discussing about previously, or maybe she kind of factors into some sort of feud with either Roxanne Perez, which I think would be really good, or Raquel Rodriguez. One of the two. I'm not sure which way they're going to go about it, but they're the kind of two options that I think are going to happen. Once again, please make sure you let us know what you think is going to happen at Evolution with Nikki Bella, because she's no longer going to be in this feud with Liv Morgan. And of course, while you're there, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more fun WWE content from us boys here at Aussie Cousins Wrestling. And the last part that I want to touch on is that there is a bit of a hole that's been created in the top of the women's card on Raw. So could someone like Roxanne Perez step up and fill the void of Liv Morgan, or does someone else have to actually come in and do that job? You've got people like Jordan Grace who are down in NXT. It was reported that she was supposedly going to be going to SmackDown some point soon, but then all of a sudden she was featured in the NXT Women's Tournament, where the winner of that tournament was going to get a match at Evolution against JC Jane. So I'm not sure where she's fitting in to the main roster push at this point in time. But then you've also got someone like Lyra Valkyria, who's currently in this kind of three-way feud with Bayley and Becky. She clearly doesn't quite want Bayley to be around with the Becky feud, so there's definitely tension between them as well. Could she then be supplanted into the kind of the main event scene, heading towards the title, in which it seemed like Liv Morgan was going to be doing, especially considering she had that promo with IYO SKY at the start of Raw? Or is it time for someone completely different to come in? As I discussed before, you've got someone like a Sol Ruka, even a Kalani Jordan, who could step up to the main roster at any point in time. Obviously, their mic skills are nowhere near as good as what Liv Morgan has made herself into lately, but their work in the ring can definitely really impress the main roster crowd. Or do you need someone who could be a bit more heelish? I know she's technically a face at the moment, but Zarya coming up to the main roster and kind of filling that big, powerful heel role, that is definitely something that could happen if they need to fill the role of Liv Morgan in the upper card of Raw. But just to summarize, what I would like to see happen is that if they are going to have to vacate the titles, I want to see a bit of a tournament for those women's tag team titles that leads into a final at Evolution with a winner takes all, getting the tag team titles. And I want to see someone like a Sol Ruka and Zarya being the winners of those, because I think they have genuine tag team chemistry and one of the only actual tag teams that are going around on the WWE roster at the moment in the women's division. So please let us know what you think is going to happen in WWE with the absence of Liv Morgan, depending on whether it's going to be a short absence or an extended period of time on the sidelines for her. Of course, she has been absolutely integral and so wonderful in, say, the last 18 months or so. It is going to be a massive gap if she has to take an extended period of time off. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and of course, let us know what you think down in the comments below. And the most important thing from us is we hope you all have a wonderful day.